Okay, good morning, everyone. It's Chase. Today is Martha's Tips and Tricks. But I have to say, we have to, well, Mom asked me, and she said, you know what, why don't you demonstrate today's tips and tricks just to test me and make sure I'm on my toes. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to share my screen. I'm on an iPhone. And so I'm going to start to broadcast. And there I am sharing my screen. So what we're going to do is open up Google Authenticator. The purpose of Google Authenticator, as you're seeing on my phone right now, is all these 6-digit numbers and a little clock, a little pie that's diminishing and going around. That's a 60-second clock. And yes, I have lots of these for lots of people for different reasons, just to help them back up and get them going and help them along. But it's time to have a video that teaches you how to use Google Authenticator. So Google Authenticator, all it does is create a 6-digit number every 60 seconds. And the purpose of this is to secure your account by requiring you to enter the 6-digit number that changes every 60 seconds. It's about 10 seconds away from changing. It goes red, and then it'll change. Okay, so all these numbers are changing for different accounts. And what you use it for is to, oops, someone's asking me, gosh, hey, well, we're gonna have to go with the recording. So, because I can't interrupt this call. But so the 6-digit number is something that the phone or your computer generates, and it changes every 60 seconds. The numbers of combinations, by the way, for 6 digits is 1 million combinations, because the first digit can be, well, 65335 or 345 for my CFX code right there. But it's about to change. So someone would have to guess a 6-digit number. Really hard to do and guess it right and do it in 60 seconds because it's about to change again. So this provides incredible security. Your account, whatever it might be. Some of these were for Coinbase. So I have Coinbase down here. So 912 right there. Oops, that's Binance or Coinbase. Yeah, Coinbase right there. These are codes that allow me to get into my account and only me to get into my account. So you can't lose access to an account that has a lot of money in it. So this has been generating and changing every 60 seconds. And it's the time on my clock, 10:03 a.m. And I have to coordinate it with a computer that is also, or a device that is also on the exact same time, because you'll enter this code on your laptop, and the laptop has to log in and be at the same time. So you have two devices. It's also called two-factor authentication. So it's called Google Authenticator because Google has an app that creates this authentication number. Okay, so this is all very important because you're about to, or if you haven't already created in a CFX account, you're going to have a lot of money in it. And the last thing you want anything to do is for someone to steal it. Okay, they can get your username and the password, not very easily, but it is possible. But it makes it infinitely difficult or infinitely impossible for someone to guess your 6-digit number in 60 seconds and enter it and be on the same time zone the whole, on this whole thing. Okay, so with that, I'm going to stop sharing and just point out that this is the setup of this very important security step. Okay, so what I'm going to do is turn off. Okay, I had to switch over. Okay, and now I'm going to share. Go ahead. Hi, Derek. I also got to turn down the volume on my phone. So again, so now what I'm going to do is I've had Google Authenticator running on an account, somebody's account. So what I've already turned it off. So the step here, if you can imagine, is you have just joined CashFX and your account has been funded and it's activated. So CashFX knows you have money in your account. This is when it's time to secure it. You don't need to use Google Authentication or a Google Authenticator until your account is secured, until it has money in it, until your account has actually gone active. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I've moved to my laptop and I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to log into this account. Again, I turned off Google Authentication earlier so I can demonstrate it. So you have to assume or pretend that I have just upgraded to CFX in it with a, let's say, a $300 account or whatever it is. Okay, it doesn't matter. And then the second time you log in, or you can do it right after your account goes live. But I'm going to do it as though I'm logging in after I paid for my Bitcoin package. So I click login. Pardon me. You may have to choose, and this is a part of security too, these CAPTCHAs, where you pick elements of a picture and click on the things and all that. So this is part of the security. A computer cannot figure this out. A human can. So this is an element of security, but it's not the best. It's good, but it needs to be stronger. And that's where we're getting to Google Authenticator. So when you have an active contract going and you do not have Google Authenticator set up, it prompts you to do it. There's no, ifs, ands, or buts. You're going to have Google Authenticator set up. You are going to prevent, as it says, your account from unauthorized access, okay? So I'm going to make this really full screen so we can just focus in on everything. So this is what your screen will look like. And hopefully you're watching this video to be prepared. You love CFX, you're going to join. And now you have this step, which you've never set up things before. You've generated usernames, you've generated passwords. That's all fine. Sometimes you use the same darn password over and over and over again. And that doesn't happen here because Google Authentication prevents that from happening. Okay. So it says here, we require that you set up two-factor authentication. You'll hear the term Google Authentication, two-factor authentication, because it takes two factors or two devices, and I'm holding on my phone with the Google Authentication on an app. You can also run it on your computer. So some of you don't have a fancy smartphone. You can still use CashFX and put it on a browser, or you can have a friend that has a smartphone who you trust. There are lots of options that if you don't have a smartphone, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and click on Set Up Now. And there are two videos. They're pretty good, by the way. It's amazing. There are two videos that describe what to do right here on the steps you need to complete. So on the left is two-factor authentication, and I'll zoom in on this one. This video explains how to do it with multiple devices, like on a phone, okay? So you would add the app to a smartphone. If you have an app on your smartphone and your laptop, watch the left video. If you don't have a smartphone, then you can watch this video, how to install two-factor authenticator on a browser. You don't have a phone, so you're going to use your browser, your Google Chrome or Firefox or Safari. That's what you use to browse the internet. That's how you log in to CashFX. Okay, so I'm going to do both of these. You get a 2-for-1 video here today. So down at the bottom, they show that you can download Google Authenticator on the App Store. Okay, I'll zoom in a little bit more. So you can download it if you have an iPhone on the App Store. Perfectly great to do that. If you have an Android, you get it on Google Play. These two buttons take you right to the apps. Okay, so you don't have to search, whatever. You can just click these, and you have to do it on your smartphone. Okay. You can also use LastPass It's an Authenticator app as well. Okay, so you can get that on the App Store and Google Play. So when we talk about Google Authenticator, it's really a two-factor authentication. And you can use Google Authenticator, or you can use LastPass Authenticator, or you can even install this Authenticator plugin. Okay, so there's several different options. Okay, choose the best one that's going to be, for you. Do you have a smartphone? Well, if you have a smartphone, you're going to download it on your phone. Use either the App Store or Google Play. If you have an iPhone, it's in the App Store. If you have an Android, it's Google Play. If you don't know what you have, contact someone that can help you with that, and they'll help you. Okay. And then you can use LastPass. Sometimes you want to. Some people may not like Google Authenticator, and they want to use LastPass. That's fine. It's just a simple app that does the same thing. Or the other last choice, as I've described, is putting in a little plugin into your browser. Okay, and these plugins are linked right here. So we can use Google Chrome, we can use Firefox, and this one I think is Microsoft Edge, if I'm not mistaken. Okay?
Edge, yes.
Yep, thank you. So I'm gonna do both. And the first one I'm going to do is the Authenticator plugin, and I'm using Google Chrome. So I'm going to just click on this, the red, green, yellow with the blue circle. That's Google Chrome. That's the symbol. And so this is a direct link to the plugin. You don't have to search for it. You just click. So I'm going to zoom out and click. And this will open up a new tab. And what I'm going to do is just make this a separate tab so we don't get confused, or a separate window. Okay. So I have one web page on my browser. I'm using Google Chrome. I've logged into my back office of CFX. Okay. And it immediately took me to this page. I can't go anywhere else. Try to go to the dashboard. Can't. It's going to reset and say, you must set up Google Authenticator. We require you. We absolutely make it impossible for you to do anything else. Okay, so we'll click set up now. I'm going to come down, click on the Google Chrome icon. It'll open up a new tab. A new tab is a new website. You can see the tabs up at the top. This is exactly to the correct website. And I chose the Chrome app, and all I have to do is click add to Chrome, and it begins doing these things. Okay, now it's been installed. Okay, and in the top right, I need to move something around. There's a little symbol, and I'm going to move this down here. I got videos and such. There's a little symbol right here. Okay, and interestingly enough, it pulled in some other settings that I have, which is fine. So it's added it to my browser. And the symbol is this little tiny barcode. It's the QR code. In fact, I'm going to zoom in on this. That's the symbol. And it's in the top right next to some other extensions. So I just click on it and it opens up, and it's actually remembered some other settings that I have. Okay, which is fine. You can't access these accounts because you don't know the usernames and the passwords and all that. Okay, so this is the icon that you can look for, and it's in the top right of your Chrome browser, right? And I'm clicking on it, and mine has some previous settings. Yours would be blank. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the previous tab. Previous tab is CFX. And again, tabs allow me to switch from one website to another, just simply choosing different tabs, making this very apparent because we have a lot of new people who may not fully understand what tabs are. Okay, so tabs are, you can just switch from one website to the other, and I've been doing that quite a bit here. Okay, so now I've installed that plugin. So what I do is come over here, and this code, you would never, as I'm doing, record a video with this code. You'd be crazy because now you're telling the whole world your secret key for Google Authenticator, and they could get into your account. So I am absolutely going to redo this after this Zoom call. You better believe it, okay? Because I'm giving access to everybody. You could scan this right now. Some of you may already have. That's fine. I'm going to change it. This also, this text underneath it is the text equivalent of this barcode. So I would keep both. Okay. In fact, I would copy this and you can put it in, I'll just show you can paste it. So it's in memory. I can paste it on things. I can paste it as an email. I can post it or paste it in a notepad. I can paste it in a Facebook message. I can do it. I can do a lot of things. So this S, W, ND, 2, G, all this is the same as this black and white checkerboard. So there are two ways to do the same thing. Amazing. It's really cool. And by the way, it says in this little blue text, after verification is completed, please save the secret code. They tell us this. Sometimes we miss this, okay? For backup purposes. Backup purposes? What backup purposes? For example, after switching to a new phone, okay? Some of you are like, well, I'm never going to get a new phone. Well, you might lose your current phone. You're like, crap, got to get a new phone. Ding. Okay, so you would have to download Google Authenticator app or the LastPass Authenticator app and then re-enter the secret. And you're like, what secret? This secret. Ding. They're not going to show this to you again. Why not? Why wouldn't they show this to you again? Because it's so dang secret. If you show this, if there is a way to generate this code again, a hacker could do it. They only want to show it to you once. And for God's sakes, they'll never share it to anybody else. And they'll never show it to you again, ever. So now you're like, oh my God, this sounds really important. Yeah, it is. It is. You should really take this seriously. Now, cool thing is CFX has your back. And if you lose your phone, you blame your spouse, whatever, the dog ate it, or, the dog did something to it, whatever, your phone is gone. You can't get into CashFX. And you forgot to scan or take a screenshot of this code. And you forgot to paste in the secret code because you just put in these letters. Who would guess that? Kind of hard to guess. It's meant to be hard to guess. So this code is also the same as this black and white checkerboard box. Are you getting it? They're just going to show it to you once. But if you lose your phone, Google, you can reset Google Authenticator by going up to your account. Actually, your sponsor is going to have to do it. They're going to go up to account. Actually, what they're going to do is generate a support ticket. They're going to go up to support and say, well, one of my team members did a great job, joining CFX, but they lost their phone and they didn't have a screenshot of their QR code, that black and white code, and they didn't copy and paste that little text code. So we're going to generate a support ticket and only your sponsor can do it. You can't. You created this account with a username and a password and a Gmail. You can't prove who you are. They think you're a hacker if they say, if you ask, oh, I need to reset my two-factor authentication, and it's right under the account settings. So if you lose your phone, you're going to have to contact your sponsor in CFX or someone upline, and they are going to come over here and generate a support ticket and say, so-and-so, thought they had a good screenshot, thought they had a copy, something happened, or maybe they didn't even do it. From this video on, you're not going to do that, okay? So then later on, you can come on and log in and come to two-factor authentication setup, okay? Very important. So I'm covering this carefully. This is a really good instructional video. You're going to know why to do this. It's security, and then number two, you're going to back yourself up in case you lose your phone, or what if you lose your laptop, and what if the hard drive goes down and all of a sudden you can't click up here? What are you going to do? You got to reset it. You got to have your sponsor say, yep, one of my team members, they had a hard drive crash or their laptop was stolen. That's really unfortunate, but they can't do anything. So we need to reset their Google authentication, and your sponsor, your upline member can do that. But if you do this, come in here and take this very seriously and know that this is a one-time, you're going to see this once. And you might really want to copy this text, because it's important, and paste it into a document and print it. Okay, you might even take a screenshot, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go make it a really nice screenshot. Look at that. It's just going to be right there. And I'll take out this part, which I pasted. So on a Mac, I can press Command Shift and 3. And I get a little picture, and here it is. This is a screenshot. Okay. Oops, I think I lost it. Hang on. Tried to do too many things. Nope, I did. This is the screenshot. Hang on. Too many things I'm trying to do. And oh, you know what? Interesting enough, it put it into a tab on my browser. Okay, this is a screenshot. It looks exactly like my screen. And it's a picture of the QR code. Now I'm going to do it one more time. Okay, so on my tabs, this is the website. Okay, I can't do this on a screenshot, but I'd come down here, I'd get it positioned, and I'm going to take a screenshot. So I'll hit Command Shift 3. I was full screen last time, and then I click here, and this is a picture. Okay, whoops. I can even draw on the picture. I want to do that. I needed to grab the top of there. So this, as I'm moving around, is a picture. Okay, it's a screenshot. It's not a picture with your phone of your screen. Big difference. You've got to have this really nice and sharp. Well, you get the best results when it's nice and sharp. If you take a picture with your phone of your screen, you're probably introducing some blur. You're not probably the best photographer in the world, and you're going to have a blurry photograph, and you're going to, oh, I got it. You lose your phone, your laptop dies, and you're going to, oh, crap, this photo, I thought it was really good, but it's not. So take a screenshot, take a picture of your screen, not with your phone, but with software that does the screenshot, okay? So I'm covering this very carefully. Even a newbie that doesn't know anything about Google Authenticator is going to know quite a bit after this video, right? So I'm going to save this because, and you can also save, you could save this in a Word document with the picture. Okay, it's really sharp, clear, it's perfect. Okay, that's what you want. So I can click on done, and that's going to go to my hard drive. So I have it. Okay, trust me, I do. You're going to take a screenshot as well. On a PC, you use a snipping tool. You'll drag a section of the screen and take a picture of it. We have videos on how to take a screenshot. It's one of the best things you'll ever learn, by the way. Okay, so I'm ready. I'm going to go. I took a screenshot because I know I'm going to only see this once. Okay, now technically I would want to save the text key as well. So I'd copy that with my mouse. By the way, if you watch this, I'll teach you something. If you do a double click, it'll select the code. That's fine. But if you do a triple, 1, 2, 3, magic. Did you just learn something else? So one click does nothing. Double click, it'll select a word. It'll select it over here. It's secret. Double click. Just double click. It'll select it. Also on the word key, double click. Well, that's not handy, Chase. I want the whole thing. I know. I'm pointing out you can do a double click and it'll select just that word. But a triple, 1, 2, 3. Pretty dang cool. 1, 2, 3. Pretty darn cool. And then you press Command C or Control C, and then you can paste it anywhere you want. You have it in memory. So you could paste that into a very important document that you have with all your CFX documentation. Print this baby out, because that code you can enter in. You can see the letters SWNDT D2 enter that into where would you enter that in? You would enter it into Google Authentication, and you can do it manually. Okay, And you can edit and you can do things manually. I don't know how to do it here. That's all right. You can do scan. Let me see. No, that's not going to do it. Um, I don't know how to do it manually on this little app. Let me see if the pencil does it. No, that's editing the names of things.
You have to get your QR code in the middle,
Yep.
and then it
Yep.
will do it.
Yep. This plugin only scans it with automatically. There's no way to manually enter it. Okay. So Derek was right. And I'm going to zoom back out. And we're going to first set it up on my browser. Okay. So I'm going to click this little symbol. This is my Authenticator extension. And you see some other numbers here, and they tell you what it's for. This is for CashFX for this account, and CashFX for this account, and CashFX for this account. They're different accounts, okay? So what I'm going to do is click on the scan. This is a little symbol for scan. It says scan QR code. This is an interesting thing, what is about to happen. It's going to make the rest of the screen go kind of gray. And it's going to show a picture of a black and white barcode, and then it's going to be drawing a box over it. That's what you got to do, but you got to do it over this. I'm zooming out, it's on the far left. So I'm going to click the little scan, and it made my screen go mostly gray. Amazingly, I don't see the little symbol. I'm going to do it again. That's crazy. Okay, it didn't scan the code, by the way. I did it wrong intentionally. Let's see if I can just scroll around here. Okay, one more time. Click the little code, click the scanner, and I've messed it up, but it does show a little animation that's, has a little crosshair, and it's getting hard to see. My screen is mostly gray. What you want to do, and I'm going to do it wrong again.
I think you can drag
What
it
you need
over.
to do is draw a box. See the box I'm drawing? It's on the wrong side. Okay, I'm intentionally doing it on the wrong side. And a little box is not big enough. And a big box, that's overkill. But a box to cover the QR code, except I'm going to the right. And you would need to go to the left. So watch this. I can go to the left. As soon as I get it, boy. Okay, there we go. So it's hard to describe. I hope you saw that. The screen grows mostly gray, and you have a little crosshair, and you draw a box over the QR code. Now, CashFX is reporting that this account, Money Welcome One, has been added. Okay. And click OK. That was the process. What it's done now, down at the bottom, is actually up at the top. That's really interesting. I think it's just replaced it for this one. But it's this is the account. You can see it, Money Welcome One. And so the account or the Google Authenticator is for right up here, Money Welcome One. It's generating the number 596017. Okay. Now I'm going to also do it on my phone. Okay. So I've got the Google app on my phone. I'm doing it for both the computer and my phone. Okay. So on the app, there's a little plus down at the bottom. I'm running the Google Authenticator app. The LastPass app is pretty similar too, but there's a plus down here, and it's got the colors of the Google logo. Tap on that, and it says scan QR code or enter the text. So I could enter the setup key. The setup key is again SWNDT D2. I already say it wrong. D2 GF4TQL6C4LD. Okay, you got to enter in that manually, but who wants to do that? It's so much better when you do the QR code. So I'm zooming back out, and then I will tap on the app. This is on my phone. Tapping scan a QR code. What it does is turn on my camera so it can scan. And I'm pointing the camera the wrong ways. It's in a point, you're going to be looking at the screen, and you got to point what's in here in this little green box. You got to get that code in this green box by pointing at it. So it's hard to demonstrate this. I'll turn my phone around and come in on that QR code. Boom. Okay. And if I've done this right, and that's really interesting, it gives two different numbers. I thought you could do both, but you can't. Okay, so I've demonstrated both, and you'd have to pick one. You can't do it for both. They're both two different numbers. One is 057755. One is 30370-681. I thought they would do both the same number, but they don't. Just learn something. Okay.
Well,
So
either
what I'm
will
going to
work.
do is use the one on my phone. Okay. So on a phone, you can tap the number and it copies it into memory. Now on mine, I have a Mac and a MacBook Pro and an iPhone. Okay. So what I'm going to do is my phone will copy it for me. And you would just type it in. In fact, I'll demonstrate it both ways, but I can tap on the number now. It just went red. Gotta wait till it goes blue. Now it's blue. So it's 358-909. I can tap on that because I have an iPhone and my MacBook Pro are connected. I can paste. And I'm pasting it down at the bottom there. 358-909. See that? Or I could type 358-909. I'm going to go scroll out. All you have to do is click verify in the far right or hit enter. And I hit enter before it is reset. So it says two-factor authentication is enabled. Awesome. Okay. You're like, am I done? Not exactly. They want you to do it twice. Okay. Then it goes away and you're like, oh, crud. I forgot to take a screenshot. No, I didn't. You may have. Okay. So you only get a chance to take the screenshot before you enter the code. And this is where the proof is in the pudding. Did you really add it to your phone? And I did. So it's been some time and now we have a different number. And it's, let me let it reset, 027811. That's the number they're wanting. They want you to do it twice. It kind of builds repetition. You get it done twice. So I'm going to tap on it, hit paste. After I paste or get the cursor in my box, got the little thing and it's pasting from my iPhone. There it is, 0278-811. Got to hurry. Boom. I've set up Google Authentication twice. You can hit enter or hit with your mouse. Okay. So now this account is secured. And I can go around the dashboard, all places around the account because it's secured, okay, which is awesome, okay. You can check your account and you can see all your great stuff, okay. Now, some of you are like, well, how do you turn Google Authentication off? And as I've shared, I just shared how to turn on Google Authentication, and I showed my screenshot. Terrible thing to do. You know, I'd never do that. I just showed all of you how to basically get the Google Authenticator for this account. Now, good luck getting the password. You know the username, but you don't have the password. So I have a few minutes of safety here, okay? So under the account, if you want to reset it, or if you're, you know, you want to just you get a new phone or any number of parameters, your new laptop, whatever, you can reset Google Authenticator. Okay, so it's under the account menu down to two-factor authentication setup. Because if you're using LastPass or Google Authenticator, it doesn't matter. They're both two factors. There's two devices, your phone and your laptop. Two devices that are separate. And a hacker is never going to have both. They're not going to have your phone. So they can't break in. Okay, so if you need to reset your Google Authentication, your two-factor authentication, go under account and then choose two-factor authentication setup. Now mine is running. How do we turn it off? Well, it says it right here. Type the two-factor authentication, the PIN right in there to confirm. So this has been changing. By the way, it doesn't have to be on the internet. This app runs without being on the internet. And it generates a code based on the time of day. So your phone doesn't have to be on the internet. It just has to have the right time. It has to be on the right time on your laptop and your phone the same time, because both of them are generating the same code at the same time. Okay, this is now changed. And I'm going to tap it here and paste it in. So I'm going to say 227, pasting from my iPhone. How cool is that? Taking a little longer. I only have 30 seconds. There we go, 227442. So it's there. Now I can turn off Google Authentication. Okay, are you sure? And I'm going to say, okay. So now I've turned it off. Okay. And what does it do? Takes me right back. It's like, goodness gracious, you have an active account. You can't be running around without Google Authenticator set up. What are you, crazy? Someone's going to hack into your account. We're not going to allow that. And that's why CashFX is so darn nice. They think of this stuff. And so you go to the setup now. And I'm going to do this without sharing it on my screen. Whoop, and I did it. Look, there it is. Okay. And I have to redo this one. Okay. But if I didn't show you this next one, by the way, it's a different code. Ding, ding, ding. It should be. Okay. This is a new setup entirely. And so every time you do this, it'll generate a new one. I cannot have this one because I'm just broadcasting it on this recording. Okay. So I'll log out and then come back in and reset it and make sure it's brand new and all that. Okay. But you know, there are two videos. They're pretty darn good. And they're short, 2 minutes and 24 seconds. The left one is when you're using a phone and your laptop. That's multiple devices. The right one, when you're just putting it on your browser. And you have my video, which is explaining all of this again and teaching you to take a screenshot and back yourself up. And 1, 2, 3, triple click. Okay, 1, 2, 3, boom. Wasn't that cool? Learn something. 1, 2, 3. Does it every time. It does it down here too. 1, 2, 3. Ding. Boy, that's handy, Chase. Yes, it is. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Selects the whole sentence. It'll also select a paragraph. I digress. I'm teaching you way too much. Anyway, that's how Google Authenticator works. I'm going to log out of this account and come back and set it up very quickly because it's not set up. But this is a video that anybody can share. And I realized how important this was, and it's kind of a hard one to do because you don't want to record your Google Authenticator QR code or the text. You want to keep that private and keep it with someone maybe as a backup that you fully trust. That's okay. Have 2 copies. Good idea. If you forget all of that, we got you covered because your upline member can help you reset Google Authenticator. Okay. So does CashFX take care of you? Yes, they do. The moment your account is active, they require it. It's a good requirement to have. So any last minute thoughts?
It was good. Thank you, Chase. Very, very
Good.
And I didn't know that we could actually reset it to let's say a new authenticator code. Just by going in there and putting that in again. That was new for me.
Good. I didn't realize that they would be different on the browser and the phone. So I thought I could set it up with both of them being the same, but we just learned something. So you have to pick one. So, alrighty, thanks for everyone. I'm going to end the recording and we'll get this up on YouTube under Martha's Tips and Tricks. Okay. By the way, how do you get to the tips and tricks? That comes in the email to all the Zoom recordings, and there's a link for Martha's Tips and Tricks. You can get to this video and other great videos, other great tips and tricks by getting on my newsletter. So forward this newsletter to team members, help them get plugged into this great information, and they can learn a lot about Martha's Tips and Tricks, about CashFX, and our Zoom calls. So thanks, everyone. I'm going to end the recording now.